First things first, let me call out a person that I'm very fond of. I like Frank Vogel a lot. But don't disrespect the Greek Freak by lying to the American people. Yeah, I understand people want to go and play with LeBron, but it's not like you're comparing LeBron in Cleveland to Giannis in Milwaukee. LeBron is in L.A. L.A., Milwaukee. Can y'all answer that question? I mean, just stop it. And LA got a lot to do with it, okay? I'm just saying. So let's just get that out the way, Frank Vogel. Stop acting like La doesn't have something to do with it. But having said all of that, let me say this. I definitely think it's LeBron. Because I think that LeBron, having the ball in his hands, running the offense the way that he does, leading the league in assists, still averaging nearly 26 a game in his 17th season, and facilitating the way that he does is why I would agree with Vogel. The Greek Freak is sensational. I mean, averaging nearly 30, 14, and 6 for crying out loud. That just is, as the reigning league MVP, we know how phenomenal he is. But and he defensively is phenomenal as well. I just think that when you look at LeBron and the way he holds the ball and creates mismatches and exploits mismatches the way that he does, I can't say enough about him as a facilitator, basically getting others involved and making others shine a bit better than the Greek Freak. That's why, to answer the question directly, in terms of being more valuable, I think about what LeBron peels out of the guys around him. In the Western Conference, by the way, not the East, even though the East is better. And I got to give that to LeBron over the Greek Freak. I really do.
I like LeBron. I think LeBron is better. But if you're talking about more valuable to a particular team, and if Frank Vogel is giving LeBron credit for AD showing up, then obviously no one's more valuable than someone bringing AD to their team. However, if we're talking about on the court, you take LeBron off that team, I think it's not nearly as good. But I think you take Giannis off of the Bucks, they are at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. They have a lot of good players, but all their players are built around making Giannis the best that he can be. And I don't think the same can be said for what's happening out in L.A. with LeBron and that team. So I think you mentioned it for a second by saying that Giannis is good on defense too. But Giannis might be the Defensive Player of the Year in the MVP. So I think he is more valuable to his team. While if I'm picking one of them, I'd rather have LeBron. I think Giannis is more valuable to the Bucks than LeBron is to the Lakers.
Well, Dominique, I've never disagreed with you on First Take, but I'm going to disagree with you right now. You're wrong. And here's why. You take Giannis off the Milwaukee Bucks, they're making the playoffs. Probably a 6, 7, maybe 8 seed, but they're in the playoffs. They have a good team. And by the way, they have another guy by the name of Brook Lopez who you could put in the defensive player conversation for us winning that award also. But when I look at the two, and this is where we all get confused at. See, Giannis is the MVP, right? The most dominant player. LeBron James is the MVP, most valuable player. When I look at what he brings to this Laker team and to this Laker offense, and I told Stephen A. Smith this before, when he's off the court, the Lakers rank 28 offensively. When he's on the court, they rank 2nd. He makes everything easy for everyone else, especially Anthony Davis. When AD is on the court with him, he's like, wow, I've never been this wide open. Wow, I never had a chance to have a one-on-one matchup. That's why he's able to spend so much energy on the other end. I'm talking about Anthony Davis, for us with him playing defense, because I think he's going to win the Defensive Player of the Year award because he don't have to carry the load offensively, because LeBron James makes it that much more easy for Anthony Davis along with others. So when I'm looking at who's more valuable, it kind of reminds me of the situation of back in the day in that 2005, 2006 season, I believe, when Steve Nash won the MVP award over Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal was the most dominant, and some may say he should have won the MVP, but Steve Nash was more valuable to the Phoenix Suns, and that's the way I'm looking at it when I'm comparing LeBron James and Giannis, and far as who's more valuable to their team. team.
Yeah, I think that's the important part. It's to their specific team. That's why I differ from you guys. Like, I could listen to an argument that says LeBron is a better player and a more valuable player overall. But the way that Bucks team is constructed is completely constructed around Giannis. Like, no one there is there for no other reason but to set up Giannis. That's the way that they've constructed that team, and it's smart. But if they take out that centerpiece, that defense. Go ahead.
No, but that's not true, Dominique, because you got Chris Middleton, who's a two-time All-Star. You got Eric Bledsoe, who was a guy that was averaging 25 and 5 when he was with the Phoenix Suns. So, let's not act like they don't have firepower over there. You have Brook Lopez, who was a guy that was an All-Star. Like, they have firepower over there in Milwaukee. Like I said, Giannis is the most dominant. But if you take LeBron James, let me ask you this, Dominique. If you take LeBron James off the Lakers, what would this year's Lakers team be in the Western Conference?
I think they'd probably be the middle of the pack or towards the 6, 7 seed, somewhere around there. They'd still be a good team. I think the stat that you pointed out is a good one about when LeBron's off the team, and the West is much harder. When LeBron's off the court, they're a much worse team. But I think that's in part because LeBron does that to your team. He makes life easy for the guys around you. But I think if you take LeBron off that team, they build another offense and another team centered around Anthony Davis. No, you build another team centered around Anthony Davis that I think is more effective than the team that you build centered around Chris Middleton for the Bucks. Like, that to me ends the conversation.
Well, let me say this. I think the Lakers would be in danger. They'd be battling with Memphis and New Orleans and San Antonio and teams like that for a final playoff spot in the West without LeBron James, number one. And number two, Kendrick, I have to correct you about something. When you highlighted what the Lakers are on the court without LeBron compared to what they are on the court with LeBron, you didn't have to explain that to me. That was Max Kellerman you had to school on that. I know these things. Mr. Boxing himself was challenged in that knowledge.
I said, hold on. Stephen A., you taking it the wrong way, my brother. I meant on your show.
Play it, man.
I had to say it. I couldn't
play it, bro.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.